Words for Life, Miss James' Pocket Wisdom. And how it all came about was my last 4 years in particular, I felt like I needed to feed into the kids' lives more so than teaching them math. We all know that in order to teach a child or anybody, you have to first reach that person. And so I found that a lot of the kids where I was teaching, they needed a little something extra. I learned a long time ago that they are who they are. The parents don't keep the good ones home and send the bad ones to school. They send what they have. And sometimes what they have is lack of communication skills. What they have is lack of discipline. What they have is lack of inspiration, motivation, belief in themselves. And so, like I said, what I did was I tried my best to inspire them. I tried my best to reach them. And so I found myself coming up with these little sayings, like they would always come with excuses, and I'm not a person who is up for excuses. So when they come to me and say, well, Miss James, I don't know what you're talking about. Or Miss James, I left it at home. Or Miss James, I was at the hospital last night. Just anything they could come up with. I would just look at them and say, excuses only good for those who make them. At one point, well, during the last few years, I even made a poster and put it on the wall. And at that point, I was disappointed. And then I would hear kids saying, well, she's gonna, excuses are only good for those who make them, so you know she's not going for that. So, things like that. And then this year in particular, this past year, I had an 8th period algebra honors class. And these kids were so good, but they were who they were. I said at the school that I taught at that the kids have character. Because you can't say anything negative, or you shouldn't say anything negative. You can, because we as teachers, we find ourselves falling into that pocket, but refuse to go there. And so what I would say is, if anybody would ask me, and I found a lot of people were asking me, I would just say, the kids have character there. And they really do. They really do, because they are who they are. But like I was saying, my 8th period class, they would just we formed a bond. And you always have that one class that you just kind of form a bond with that's stronger than the other classes. And again, you don't want to say they're your favorite classes, but they are. It is. It is what it is. And so these kids, I had this one particular kid in my class, and he was just the smartest he could be, and everybody's had one of those, who is smart as he can be, he or she. But they don't come to school. School is not high on their list of things to do. And their parents don't make it high on their list of things to do. So therefore, they just come when they feel like it. And if they don't feel like it, they don't come. And so I had this kid who was just smart. Just like I said, he was in my algebra honors class. And now we have it to where you have to take the EOC in order to pass the class. Now my idea of him was he would probably make F's the whole year but pass the EOC. So he was that smart. So one day, report cards came out, or it was some grade that was in the class. It was a major grade in the class, and the boy got an F on it. Either he just kind of gave me junk, or he didn't turn anything in. And that day, I was just like, you should not allow your report card to misrepresent your intelligence. Because you are so much smarter than this. You're so much smarter than this. You just have, but then when somebody looks at your report card or looks at your grades, they see F's. You're not an F student. You're not even a B student. You're an A student. But this is what you get from me. So what should I do? What can I do? Just because I know that you're smart, give you an A? next day, I had a headache, and it was pretty bad. So, between classes, instead of we went to the door, I kind of like put my head on the desk. Who but this same little girl gave it to the class, and she was like, Miss James, elevate your mind, get your head on the desk. So now we have a poster. So this is just how all of this stuff happened. The book was birthed at my last school because those kids they just kind of pushed me into the season. So I decided that I would do it. And I would give it to them. I would give them a sample of my book on the last day of school. Because you know the last day of school, there's like 100,000 things to do. But they can't bring paper, they can't bring pencil, they can't bring anything. All they have to do is bring themselves, but you got to teach. And if an administrator comes into your class, they're going to be wondering why you're not teaching. So I thought, well, hey, I got something for them. It was on a short day, and I was just going to do this book thing. I was going to talk about it a little bit. At that point, I didn't have the videos, but I was going to talk about it a little bit and give them the books and allow them to get autographs from each other. So it worked out pretty good. But that class, because I put every kid's name, first name in the book, they were like, wow, this is my name, and this is a real book. So, but it also had like some little classroom stories and stuff in it too. And they just really enjoyed it. I think that class in particular really took a hold to my teaching. And not just my teaching math, but my teaching life. And so, and that's the purpose. You know, we inspire these kids to just be more than who they are. Be more than just a student. They are becoming citizens of our world. And we need people to take care of us. Because when we get a little mature, we're going to need people who know what they're doing to take care of us. And so we need to feed more into them. We need to they don't just need to be good math students or good science teachers or good science students. They need to be good citizens. And that was another thing that I would say. Remember, guys, because we have so many kids who break the rules in school. I was like, remember, guys, you are preparing yourself for the world to be whatever citizen that you want to be. Now, think about this. If you are consistently breaking school rules, 9 times out of 10, when you get into the real world, as you guys say, you will be consistently breaking the rules of the land, which is laws. And you may go to ABC or OCIP or get time out for breaking the rules on school campus. But where do you go when you break the rules of the law on the land? You go to jail. So that's what you're training yourself for. So if you are willing to line up with authority here, then 9 times out of 10 you will line up with authority in your real life. Because that's what you all are saying, that you're trying to get to real life. You know, I need you to pinch yourself because this is your real life. You're in training now to be productive citizens, and I need you to be productive citizens. So that was just like a number of things. After I kind of like put the book in motion and decided, yes, this is what I'm going to do, then I thought, it was just like you said, we live in a viral society now. And my thing is, if I can put this stuff on YouTube and talk about the little things that I say in my classroom, the world is my classroom. If you got a computer, you can get Wi-Fi somewhere, you got a phone, you can reach YouTube, you can reach me. So that's what I decided to do. So I have a few videos that I want to show you guys today that promotes the book, because the way that it is, Words for Life, Mr. James Pocketism, it has bookmarks, it has posters, it has videos that relates to everything that's in the book. So my hope is that I can reach the schools, because I want to go into the schools and reach classes, and you can just show this little short video at the beginning of your class and then go on with your day. Because if you teach math, or if you teach science or social studies or whatever it is. But today you're focusing on, at the beginning of the school year, you have like 180 days, you know? So I have a video that says, that talks about you have 180 days, make the best of your 180. So, since you've already seen the video of the promotion here, I'm going to show you the video of 180 days. Hello, this is Miss James with a little pocket wisdom. Today's pocket wisdom is, this grade has 180 days. Make the best of your 180. Most school district policies state that students be in class for 180 days of the year. Kids think, oh no, this is going to be forever. No, it's not. It's going to be 180 days. And before you know it, summer will be here again. So what are you going to do? What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is stay out of trouble. The second thing you need to do is focus on learning. Not just getting good grades, but learning. You know what I say? Whenever someone is teaching, you should make your best effort to learn. Teaching is on the teacher, but learning, now that's on you. So do your 180 with excellence and move on to the next level. And that is a little pocket wisdom from this Jane. Thank you, and make your day a very good day. It's very short, not even, but it gets the message across, you know. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Because I am a teacher and I understand how important class time is, I didn't want to make it long and drawn out. What I include in the book is little stories, and stories from way back when, and stories from like as recently as last year. And some of the stories are very funny, and some of them are very serious. And I'll just give you two instances. The one story that I want to share, that I shared with in the book, was I had this kid, and his name, one kid was Jose, who was a very quiet kid, just like, you know, just always did what he was supposed to do, just very solemn. And another kid, his name was Robert. Well, Robert was kind of a bully, and Robert was always into stuff. So one day I was teaching, and then all of a sudden I hear Robert say to Jose, "You so dumb, you can't even spell dumb." And then Jose said, R-O-B. And I was thinking, oh Lord, the boy can't spell dumb. But he was spelling Robert's name. So I'm a different kind of teacher. I'm not that teacher who is just going to be like, laugh about it later. I'm laughing right now. If it's funny, I can't help myself, I just laugh. I was laughing so hard. And I was like, okay. Jose, that was not nice. That was funny, but it wasn't nice. So that was one of the stories that I included in the book. Another story that I included talked about a kid that was, his name was Marcus. And Marcus was one of those kids who never came to school. Just did come to school. Marcus probably missed like 3 days out of the week because school was not important in his house. Education was not important in his house, so therefore Marcus came to school when he felt like it. So I told him, and again, he was one of those kids, because we all know that kids are not really dumb. If they apply themselves, most of them can do what needs to be done. But it's so, some of them, they just don't apply themselves, and that's part of the problem. So anyways, I told Marcus, I was like, every time you're absent, I'm going to call your house. So I kept my word, and I called his house. I almost remembered his number. I'm sure I did, because back then we didn't have cell phones, so we didn't have to just go like flip. We had to actually dial him. So I'm sure I knew Marcus's phone number. those questions were never answered. The next day, Marcus came to school, and I heard him telling other kids, y'all don't come to school because Miss James crazy, she'll come to your house if you don't come. So after then, he started coming to school because that kid did not want me to his house. Or he just needed somebody to hold him accountable to get his behind the school. He made ACBs the rest of the year. So that was a kid who turned around. You know, just because somebody called him on his mess. So that was one, and then like I have stories. So that was not like a deathly ill serious story, but there are. Because when we're in the system, we see and we come in contact with people and situations that are not good. And what do we as teachers have to do? We still got to be there for that kid. We still have to be there for them, and we still have to plant the seeds that we have for us, that God has put in us to plant. And that's it. So, with all of this being said, and then too, I have like a few friends who, I'm not the only person who come up with all these little smart things. I have a nephew who, and I don't have a very close relationship with this nephew, but we are like friends on Facebook. And he says some of the most amazing things. And he's a young guy, he's only like 20. And the things that he put on Facebook, so I was like, I'm gonna put some of your stuff in my book because this is good stuff. And he, like some of the stuff, he's like, well, I can't take credit for all of it, but he has a firm belief in God, and he has a firm belief in doing better for himself than where he came from. And that's what it's all about. So, I have posters available, I have shirts. I'm going to give y'all a shirt because thank you for coming.